Hey guys, I'm Cody Macon. I work for the Houston Zoo Sea Turtle Hospital. We're out here today at Christmas Bay near Freeport, Texas. We're here to release 3 green sea turtles back into the wild. This is our first turtle today. This turtle came in cold stunned. He was cold. He came in this winter, and he was down near over here near Freeport. Some people saw him, called us, and we went out, picked him up. We nursed it back to health, and we're releasing it back to the wild today. The only real issue it had was that the turtle was cold, and it had pneumonia, so it had a lung infection. We've cured that, and we are ready to send it on its way today. So what the turtle will do is sit and orient itself for a little while. And once they get their bearings, they'll take off and head whatever direction they feel is best for them.
Can you explain where we are and why we're releasing this turtle into this part of the water?
Right, so we're out here in Christmas Bay because the water is very shallow, which allows for light penetration through the water to grow nice, healthy seagrass beds. And since these are green sea turtles, they love to munch on seagrass beds. So this is their ideal habitat. You see, and he's going to take off now.
My name is Andrew Krause. I'm also I work at the Sea Turtle Hospital in Galveston that the Houston Zoo operates. Our second turtle is also a green. This turtle stranded in Freeport, Texas in January, and it was underweight and also had a lung infection. So it was on antibiotics and antifungal medication and is now ready for release.
A little bit bigger than the last one.
Yes, yeah, this is our largest turtle today that we have to release. So this species, at this size, it looks pretty big, but it's actually still a young juvenile. They typically, as adults, will exceed 300 pounds and can get much larger than that if they're older. So this turtle here in the wild, a wild animal this size, it's impossible to say exactly how old it is, but it's probably between 5 and 7, give or take. Sometimes it takes them a few minutes to get oriented, to figure out where they want to go after they've been in captivity for a few months.
Can you talk a little bit about the work you guys do at the Sea Turtle Hospital?
So day to day, typically we do a lot of care of injured and sick turtles. We see some turtles that are with injuries, propeller strikes, sometimes entangled in fishing gear and various other things, and we try to we work with the vet staff at the Houston Zoo and basically treat them and try to get them healthy and release back into the wild as soon as possible, as soon as it's safe for them to be released. We also work with the public directly, and we always encourage people to, if they see fishing line or rope or anything that turtles can be entangled in, if they can pick that up and throw it away, it helps sea turtles, helps keep them from from constriction injuries, which sometimes require amputation of a flipper, or even drowning. If the gear is actually attached to the bottom of the ocean somewhere, the turtle can actually drown. So the less of that material, that foreign material in the water, the better the chances for the turtle's survival.
And we've got one more, correct, Andy, that we're releasing today?
Correct, yeah, one more green turtle. I think this one's the smallest of the three.
So this is the smallest turtle we'll be releasing today. This is another little green. It came in also with pneumonia this past winter. We got it back to health, been feeding it and fattening it up a little bit, and he's ready to go back home today. This one came in over here around Lake Jackson. When it was stranded, it was found just barely moving because it was so cold. And the nice gentleman picked it up, called us, and we came out, picked it up, and been nursing it back to health ever since. So
Do we tag them, Cody?
we do tag them. So all of these turtles have a microchip, what we call a pit tag. It's right here in the front right tricep. So we put it right in the turtle there. It seems to be the safest place that the tag doesn't get damaged, and it stays right in his little muscle there, and it will stay with him potentially the rest of his life. And so if this turtle makes it to adulthood and goes up on a beach to nest somewhere, someone can scan it and they know its history and where it came from. This kind of helps us keep track of the species. Since sea turtles are endangered, we want to keep track of the population and how many we have. So this is a good way to do that. We can kind of see how many are making it to nesting size and kind of assess what our population looks like. Due to our warmer weather and our water actually clearing up a bit around here, we're getting more seagrass beds in this area, and so we're starting to see a lot more of these little greens than we have in the past, which is a good thing. It's a good thing because that means that there's more habitat for them to live in, which means that there's also greater room for them to spread out and repopulate. So what we try to do is try to encourage everyone just to keep these waters clean and free of any debris, fishing line, stuff like that. That way when we release these guys, we know that they have a safe home to go back to, right? So let's get him out here and send it on its way. See, like the other is just going to sit around and kind of orient itself. And as you all notice, sea turtles, yes, they do breathe air. See, as it came up, it took a breath.
On average, how many sea turtles do you guys treat?
On average, I can give you a yearly average is we'll treat somewhere around about 100 turtles a year. Some years we've had much more than that. 2018, we had over 300 in just a few couple of weeks with the mass cold stun. But our average is generally around in the 100 or so. And these turtles are found all up and down the Texas coast. So Freeport, all the way down Brownsville, all the way over in the east side to Port Arthur and Sabine Pass.
What other types of turtle species do you guys help rescue and re-release back into the wild?
So we typically see 5 of the 7 species, but Mostly we'll get a lot of green sea turtles, Kemp's Ridley sea turtles, loggerhead sea turtles, and occasionally we see some hawksbill sea turtles. We don't see them as often because they are more tropical and they like to hang out on coral reefs, but occasionally some storms blow them our way and they show up on our coastline. How long can they stay down? That varies depending on their age and size. The younger ones cannot stay down as long as, say, an older, larger turtle, where they could typically stay down for, like a good hour or so, just resting on the bottom. These younger ones, they tend to stay down about 20 to 30 minutes before they'll come up for air. Also, it really depends on how active they are. If they're just laying on the bottom, they can stay much longer, versus if they're being chased or swimming or swimming around. It kind of shortens their bottom time. Right, there he goes. So that's what we like to see. We like to see them, take their time, look around, and then head off in the direction they choose.
Sea turtles face many threats in the wild, and one of the ways that the public can help the Houston Zoo and other partners save sea turtles is by picking up and recycling plastics. Plastic bottles and bottle caps are very common, and sea turtles are often found with plastic in their gut. They've eaten plastic, and sometimes they need surgery to remove the plastic. So keeping as much plastic out of the ocean as possible helps to save sea turtles.
How fast can green sea turtles swim?
Ooh, how fast can they swim? Andy, do you know that answer right there? I know they have a good burst speed.
Yeah, over short distances they're pretty quick, and they're probably faster than a rabbit running on a line, but
right.
They do tire out pretty quickly. The green turtles of the six hard shell turtle species, sea turtles, the green turtle is actually probably the fastest. They have a very streamlined shape that's actually similar to the shape of an airplane wing, and they're very hydrodynamic, basically aerodynamic underwater, with very little drag, and then they have very strong pectoral muscle at the front of the body, and they are just natural born swimmers.
What types of predators do they face when they go back out into the water?
At this size, there are not many predators. Their biggest threat is probably human interaction with fishing and with boating, but sharks will potentially prey on turtles this size and even a little bit larger. So bull sharks with the smaller ones, and as they get a little bit bigger, the tiger shark is probably their only real predator.
Guys, we just want to thank you all for joining us and tuning in today. What we do, we feel is very important, and I hope you do too. So if you could, hop on our website. There's ways that you can donate to help support us in our work. Also, when things open back up, come and visit your zoo. As you see, we help animals here locally in our home state. And we also help animals abroad. So anything you can do to come support us would be great. Also, you can tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. and there'll be another live stream. Thanks.
And whenever you come to the Houston Zoo, you can also help save animals in the wild, as a portion of the ticket price actually goes towards saving animals in the wild. And you can go to houstonzoo.org, and if you're able to, donate to the Zoo Fund. Thank you for tuning in.